Today's lesson, we will review 6th grade math lesson 4.3. This lesson will cover dividing multi-digit whole numbers. Let's look at the I can statement. I can divide multi-digit whole numbers by multi-digit numbers with or without a remainder and explain it to others. I encourage you to pause this video and complete these problems on your own first, and then go back and review your answers. Let's talk about maybe some steps involved when we divide whole numbers that I think would be helpful today. So step 1, you would write your expression from the word problem. We start there. Then I'm going to go over these. And then step 2, I would estimate the quotient. And quotient means the answer to a division problem. Step 3, complete the division. And then step 4, state your answer. It's always good to go back and read the word problem. Okay, here we go. The shoe company has 5,890 boxes of shoes. So that is my total amount. It's the whole amount, so that's going to be my dividend. And then they can fit 120 boxes on the shelf. So I'm trying to figure out how many groups of 120 are in 5,890. How many shelves are needed to stock the shoes? Explain your answer. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to write the expression. The expression would be 5,890 divided by 120. Okay, then we need to go ahead and we need to estimate the quotient. So because this is my divisor here, I'm going to use that to help me estimate. So if I have 120 here, I'm going to say I'm going to estimate 120 times 2, 120 times 5, and 120 times 10. These are kind of benchmarks that I use to help myself when I'm dividing. So 120 times 2, so if I double that, that's 240. And if I do 120 times 10, I know that's 1,200. And then if I just take half of that, that would be 120 times 5. So half of 1,200 would be 600. That just gives me a good starting point when I start doing my division. Okay, so make sure that your dividend always goes in, I call this the doghouse. It goes in the doghouse, and then their divisors right here knocking at the door. The other thing important when you do division is you need to really be accurate and take your time and line up your digits when you're doing your division. So I know that I'm saying, can 120 go into 5? No, that's not enough. Can 120 go into 58? No. Can 120 go into 589? Yes. How many times? Well, then I go over here and I look at I'm using, rounding and estimates here and benchmark estimates to give me an idea. Well, 120 times 5 is 600, and I needed to go into 589, so I know 5 is too much, so let's try 4. Make sure when you put the 4, you're going right over the digit of 9, because you're saying 120, can go into 589 4 times. 4 times 0 is 0. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 1 is 4. Subtract. So we get 109. And then I need to bring down that 0 there. And then if I look at 1,090, can 120 go into 1,090? Yes. How many times? Well, if I look at 120 times 10 is 1,200. That's too much. So I'm going to try 9. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 2 is 18. And 9 times 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I have a remainder now of 10. So let's read the problem now. We've completed our division. That's step 3. Step 4 says state your answer. So I know that it was 49 remainder 10. But I need to go ahead and read the problem one more time to make sure I'm answering it. How many shelves are needed to stock the shoes? Well, I know that I can have 49 shelves with 120 boxes of shoes. But what does the 10 mean? The 10 means I will need to have and one more shelf with 10 boxes of shoes. I encourage you to pause this video and do the next problems by yourself, and then I will go over the answers with you. All right, let's go over the answers for number 2. Number 2 is 16 miles. And then number 3, I'm going to go ahead and do that with you right now. So number 3, Rita sets a goal reading 9,540 pages. Again, that's your total. So that's your dividend. And she reads 530 pages a week. How many weeks will it take her to reach her goal? Okay, so first part is we need to say that the total amount is being divided by 530. So that's my expression. Then I put the dividend here in the doghouse and 530 right outside. All right, we've set that up. Now I need to do a little bit of doing a benchmark or estimation because of 530 is my divisor. So if I have 530 times 2 and 530 times 5 and 530 times 10. So if we double 530, I get 1,060. If I do 530 times 10, I get 5,300. And if I take half of that to be 530 times 5, I get 2,650. Okay, so I'm going to use those to help me do my division. Can 530 go into 9? Nope. Can 530 go into 95? Nope. Okay, make sure you're lining up over those digits. Can 530 go into 954? Yes. One time, because look at 2. 2 is 1,060. That's too much. So write 530 here and subtract. And then bring down the 0. Can 530 go into 4,240? Well, I know it's going to be between 5 and 10. So let me go ahead and try 530 times 8 to see if that's a good one. 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 3 is 24. And 8 times 5 is 40 plus 2. Oh, good. That works out evenly. So I have no remainder. So I need to now make sure I state my answer to the problem. So it says, How many weeks will it take her to reach her goal? It will take her 18 weeks. Okay, you can do the next one on your own, question 4. So go ahead and stop the video and try that on your own. Now that you've had time to work on that, I want to give you the answer. You will have 72 students in each bus. And 10 students in the van. And for question 5, remember this is the total, so that's your dividend. So we're going to have 16,300 is being divided by 168. How many tickets are left over? And how many tickets does each student get? So remember there's 2 answers to this one. And because we get 97, remainder four. So how many tickets does each student get? Each student gets 97. So 97 tickets for each student. With four tickets left over. Remember, if you're going through these problems, you can also look at homework on page 119 in your book for more problems similar to this. Okay, let's go on to the next part. It says estimate and then find the quotient. So when we estimate, we want to be rounding. So if we round 6,944, because we have a 9 here, this number is going to tell us that we need to round up because it's more than 5. So that will be 7,000 divided by 120 because 124, because the 2 we want to go, down to 100. So if we have 7,000 divided by 100, our estimate would be 70. So now let's do the division and see if we got close to that using our estimate. 6,944 is my dividend and 124 is the divisor. Can 124 go into 6? Nope. Can 124 go into 69? Nope. Can 124 go into 694? Let's do my benchmarks really here. 124 times 2, 124 times 5, and 124 times 10. So if I do 124 times 2, I get 248. If I do it times 10, I get 1,240. And then half of that would be times 5. Well, I need 694, so it has to be more than 5, but 6 might be too much. So let's go ahead and try that here. 5, because 620 is less than 694. So I get 620, and I subtract. I get 74, and then I bring down the 4 here. Then let's try 6, because 744 is pretty close. And I get 744. So here, the quotient would be 56. This is a good time to pause the video, and I want you to do 7 and 8 on your own, and then check back and check your answers. Now that you've had time to work on those, I just want to give you If you're having trouble, here's the rounding. So if we round for the estimate, we would do 3,801 would be rounding to 4,000, and 181 would be rounding to 200. So 4,000 divided by 200 would be 20. And then if we do the quotient, it would be 21. That one's really close to the estimate. And then if we do question 8, and if we round, that would be 8,000 divided by 100, which would be 80. And then if you do the division here, 73 is the quotient. Okay, let's go to the next section. It says estimate, then find the whole number quotient and the remainder. Okay, so we still need to start out with our estimate, so we need to round. So 7,532. I can round that either to 7,500 or I can round it to 8,000. And then 158, I can round to 150 or I can round to 200. So if I did 8,000 divided by 200, I would get 40. Okay, let's do our quotient here. So 7,532 is the dividend. 158 is the divisor. Can 158 go into 7? Nope. Can 158 go into 75? Nope. Can 158 go into 753? Well, let's do our benchmark estimates here. It kind of just gives us an idea of where to start. It's worth our time. So 158 times 2 is 316. 158 times 10 is 1,580. And if we take half of that, we get 790. Okay, here we go. So if I want to do 753, 5 is too much. So let's try 4. 4 times 8 is 32. And then 4 times 5 is 20. And then 4 times 1 is 4 plus 2. Okay, subtract. Bring down the 2. 1,212. Can 158 go into 1,212? Yes. I know 10 is too much here. So it's got to be between the 5 and the 10. So let's try 7. 7 times 8 is 56. 7 times 5 is 35 plus 5. And then 7 times 1 is 7 plus 4. Okay. So our remainder is 106 is our remainder. So the quotient would be 47 and our remainder would be 106. So go ahead and pause this video and do question 10 and 11 on your own. Now that you've had time to do those on your own, I want to review the answers with you. So if we're doing the estimate, we're going to round this to 6,000 divided by 200. So our estimate would be 30. And then after doing the division, our quotient is 27 and our remainder is 7. Question 11, when we round, we get 4,000 divided by 100. So then our estimate is 40. When we do the long division, we get 31 as our quotient and a remainder of 112. That is our lesson for Module 4, Lesson 3, Grade 6.